How was everybody's week?
Great. How about
It's
yours?
good.
Wednesday for you guys, right? Hump day, middle of
Mm-hmm.
the week.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been having a pretty good week. It's been going pretty good. Anything happening in anyone's lives? Anything cool they want to share? Mhm.
I'm boring.
Yeah, just nothing.
I go to work and I go to the gym.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, did you hit any PRs this week?
Um, the official number is 15 pounds for me this week, but I haven't hit PRs because I'm still working on the whole training by myself thing. It's a little different,
Mm.
but
Well, has Coach Taylor gone over like volume control with you?
in terms of the workout,
Yeah, so first of all, do you know how volume is calculated there?
no.
So volume. Wait, let me ask Anthony. I think he might know on this one. Anthony, do you know how to calculate volume?
Would it be like reps and weight, like combined?
Mm-hmm. Missing one
Um,
more.
reps, weight. I was gonna say set
That's correct. So
or
for you to
parcel.
calculate, good job, Anthony. For you to calculate volume, Dale, it's the weight that you're doing times by the repetitions that you do, right? That will equal a number, and obviously you're probably doing a couple sets of certain different movements, right?
Hmm.
Right. So let's just say you're doing 10 pounds and you're doing 10 reps and you're doing 3 sets, right?
Yep.
So that each set would be 100 volume, right? So by the end of the 3 sets, you'll have 300 volume.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, all good. Let me draw it out. It's always so much easier to draw it out, to be honest. Let's see here.
Because part of and I don't, maybe someone else can jump in, but when I do my workout, I use the Evolution app, and then that's how you track the workout. And then if you need like a little video, you click on, and there's Alex doing the workout or somebody else doing the workout.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all that little shit in parentheses underneath that's like a foreign language to me, like R and R and
Coach Taylor didn't go through that with you?
no, she's gone over it several times. I just need to unprogram what I'm used to and what you
Mm-hmm.
guys are calling something else that I think is different.
Okay. Yeah. Look, you probably don't have to focus on R that much as long as you're training hard. That's fine. But
Mhm.
we'll start off with the easiest one to track progressive overload. So that's what I guarantee everyone is trying to do. So progressive overload is basically you trying to build muscle, right?
Mhm.
You get stronger every so when we're talking about it, you're talking about volume, right? The volume is weight times by reps times by sets.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're doing 10 pounds,
Mhm.
you're doing it for 10 repetitions and doing it by 3 sets. Right? That would be 300 volume.
Okay.
Okay? So what that means is the stress that you put on that certain muscle with that certain movement, let's call this, it's an easy one, bench press, right?
Okay.
That means on that week, you are only capable of doing 300 volume for that particular exercise. Okay? That would mean that for you to grow muscle or for you to stimulate more muscle growth, you have to just beat this number, right?
Mhm.
So if we think about it, if we're talking about just beating these numbers, there's multiple different ways in which we can get to that number, right? So think about this. If you did 5 pounds, but you did 20 reps and you did it 3 times, what would that equal?
100, 300.
Exactly the same, right?
Yep.
But wouldn't 5 pounds be lighter? It still equals the same, right? So you're still giving that muscle the same amount of volume, right? So the reason why I give that example is if you're always trying to get heavier and heavier, right? So let's say you're doing 10 by 10 by 3 equals 300. right? And you're always trying to go heavier. So what would be your next weight that you would probably go for? Maybe 15?
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's say you do 15, right? But it's a new weight that you're not used to. You can only do 6, right? What would be your next set? Would you try to do 15 again, or what would you do?
Are you
Just think
talking
about
about
it.
the third set? The second in this case.
No. Wait. So this is what you normally do, right?
Correct.
This is a whole nother workout here, right? You tried for 15 and you only got 6. What would be your second set here? What would you try to do?
7 or 8.
Can you? You only got 6.
Well, then then I would maybe drop the weight and try to add more, right?
Okay, cool. So we dropped the weight back down to 10, right? And we know last week we did 10 by 10, right?
Uh-huh.
So let's say we do 10, right? That's another 100. And we do 10 again, maybe, because we know we can do it. Even though we went up in weight, add these together,
You're short 10.
you're short 10. So this workout probably would have felt harder, right? Because you did 15, you did something heavier. But how much volume did you generate? Less than the other week. So ideally, muscle growth is volume control. So that's what I mean, like track your volume. You don't always have to go heavier. You could do like, I don't know, one more rep heavier, and then you'd actually beat your volume.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you keep going in the method of going heavier and heavier and heavier, like when does that stop? Because there's no real track of volume there. Like there's no real track of how much that muscle is being used. Does that make sense, Dale?
It does.
Okay. Is there anything or part that you're confused about that you need me to explain again? Or how you would adapt that to your training?
Well, at this point, Coach Taylor and I are working out for myself. Like, I guess I'm trying to find what my max weight is, or my...
Yep. You're trying to find your 1 RM. Right?
Yep. And then kind of work from that. But then ultimately, I need to get my form down before I can really start going heavier. So at this, I guess the best way to put it is I'm working on form.
Exactly. So
on certain things.
The first 3 to 4 weeks, that's your phase 1. Right? I'm pretty sure she would have mentioned that. Like maybe on your program, it says like block 1, right? Phase 1.
On my program, on the actual Evolution app, I have it as like workout 1 and workout 2.
No, those are your days. But if you look right at the top, it probably says block 1, phase 1.
Oh, then
yeah, maybe just have a look for me. Check. Yeah.
Let me take a peek. Block 1, phase 1.
Cool. So ideally, block 1, phase 1. This can last for 3 to 4 weeks. It might last 3 to 6 weeks, right? Basically, this phase here is for you to understand form and technique, right? Because the second phase, that's usually when you've got the form correct, so then you can increase volume pretty fast without any risk of injury. Right, because you got the form correct. If you got the form correct, mechanically you should be getting stronger because you are performing it correctly. Your body's getting used to that weight every week. And as you progressively overload, your body should be able to handle it. Right? It's like running, right? You run for like 100, like you run down the street, you're like, oh man, I only had to take 1 break this time. And then the next one, you're like, I didn't even have to take a break this time. Like you just get better at it because your body's getting used to it. Right? So ideally phase 2, that could last for another 3 to 6 weeks. And then phase 3, you're really maxing out again. So I think what you're up to, you're only up to what? 4th week, 5th week?
I think I'm like 6 to 8, I think. But I had some time off.
Is that including your holiday?
Well, yeah. So with that said, I had.
Yeah. So ideally, when we're talking about tracking, you're probably up to like your first phase still. You're still testing your maxes and stuff, right? So ideally, you just go in there and you just train at your hardest, right? You said all of those other stuff in parentheses, like RIR and stuff. Like, do you want me to go through that? It's very easy.
Well, she's explained it to me, but I just, for some reason,
Well, you tell me. You tell me how you've understood it.
Let me see. Let me go back to my notes.
Welcome all the new guys too. I think Jonathan, Rich, I haven't seen you guys come in. Welcome. Robert, I think I just spoke to you this month as well.
Because for several weeks, I was confused as to what all that, there was a back off situation, and I didn't know that my first 1 or 2 sets needed to be the strongest, like the heaviest I can go, and then I back it off. And now that I'm kind of getting the hang of it, I'm like, oh, I've been kind of doing it wrong. I was doing is old school training where let me throw on the weight and then let me just keep adding weight till I can't, and then
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh, this is totally not the same. So
yeah, I didn't think you did anything wrong. You just probably missed that, right? That's a method of training. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong, right? You still train. That's fine. But what I mean is that's more of the back off sorts of sets are more of how to perform the whole exercise. But we're talking about in the exercise, RIR is how the effort that you've put in. So RIR basically stands for how many reps in reserve. Okay. So easiest way to think about RIR is, let's say you did your max is 10 pounds for 10 reps, right? When you finish that, you ask yourself, could I have done 11 reps? If the answer is yes, then your RIR is 1 because you could have done 1 more rep. If you finish this set and you said, oh man, I can do probably 2 more, your RIR is 2. It's very easy.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to think about it. So what that does for a coach is go, hey, Dale said his RIR is 2. That means we can up his weight. He's able to handle it because he could have done 2 more. Does that make sense, Dale?
Yep.
Yeah. It also gives you an indicator when you go and look at your exercise history and you saw that you put a 2 for that. For next week, you'd be like, damn, last week I could have done 2 more. So maybe I will try to do 2 more. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm actually looking at the app itself because I find that when I'm doing my own workout using the app, I find I have to go back and forth because I'm probably the first Asian you'll meet that's real shitty at math. I just don't math. So
I'm pretty shit at math too.
So
as you can see, I'm only using
how
the
much
number
weight
10.
do I need to do? And then and then I need to get the calculator out to then do the math for me and figure it out. So it's all of that crap.
Yeah, I think Dale, I think what you're doing is you're putting a lot of energy into something you probably don't need to. You know what I mean? You don't need to do it. A lot of the app is programmed for you. If you want to see what you did last time, you press those 3 little dots. It will tell you your exercise history. Try to beat it. That's it. That's what I mean by volume control. As long as you're doing better than the week before, then you know there's some form of progress. And that could be literally doing 1 more rep more. That could literally be doing a little bit heavier. That could literally be doing slowing down the movement for 1 more second in the eccentric portion, right? Because that's going to allow for 1 second for each rep in time under tension. So there's a lot of things that you can improve progressive overload. It doesn't have to just be weight, right? So the main one is just volume. If you can control your volume, you'll be able to progress pretty quick.
Okay.
Any other things you wanted me to go through? Are you good with tempo?
Let me look at the app again because I have to. The tempo I understand because that's how fast or how slow you should be going up and down in terms of your lift. Yeah. So that's basically it, man. As long as you got those pat down, tempo is going to ensure that you don't get injured because you're controlling the movement and you're not letting the momentum of the weight control you. You should be good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I will advise everyone that's in the
the program as well, really record your sets. Like record 1 or 2 sets, like here and there, for your coaches. Only because even myself, sometimes I feel a set and I'm like, damn, that felt good. And I watch myself in the recording. I'm like, oh shit, like I could have changed that one more thing, would have made it feel a bit better. Right. So always good to have a second opinion on if you're performing things correct. Right. All right, cool. Any other questions anybody wanted to go through? I do have something ready for everyone, but was there any topics or any questions this week? Jonathan? Yeah, see your hand.
Yeah, the numbers in the parentheses on the ones that say like back offset, and then it says like 1, 2, 6 through 8, 12 through 15. What does that mean?
Say that one more time for me.
So on some of the movements, some of the
Mhm.
exercises, like say the bent over row, it says
Yes.
back offset, and then in
Okay.
parentheses it says 1, 2, and then the next parentheses 6 through 8, 12 through
1,
15.
2, and then 6 through to 8. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then 12
That's
to
what
15.
that's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
12 to 15. Okay, Dale, you said you knew back offsets, right? You want to explain this to Jonathan?
Okay, so I hope I don't correct me if I'm wrong because I don't want to mess anybody else
Yeah,
up.
no, it's
but
all good. Yeah.
For the bent over rows that you were just talking about,
Mhm.
like there on mine, there's 3. It says 3 sets. So the back offset is you do your first 2 sets at the heavier weight. So like it needs to be so heavy that you can only pop out 6 to 8 reps. Then when you back off, which I know as a drop set, not entirely a drop set, but you drop the weight, and then you have to do 12 to 15 reps. So that way that's how you're kind of maxing out because it's like lighter. So you're doing more reps lighter because you already tired yourself up from the first 2 sets of the really heavy thing you're supposed to be doing. Correct?
Correct. Good job. Does that make sense, Jonathan?
Yeah. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure if the numbers in the parentheses meant anything different than just knowing that it was a back offset and that the total number of reps was 8 to 12 normally.
Yeah. So basically, this section here is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So these are a gauge, right? Because for coaches, if you're trying to build strength, 6 to 8 reps, like, is usually that area where like the person doesn't hit fatigue yet, right? So trying for 6 to 8 reps in the first set when your body's fresh from that movement, it hasn't been pre-exhausted, you have the most energy supply. It's where you want to test your strength, right?
Okay.
Right. And then afterwards, since you've already cleared this heavy weight, the weight that you're doing now, because it's going to be less than the weight you just attempted, there's no fear, right? There's no fear that you can't do it. Right? Does anyone ever get scared when they touch a heavy weight? They're like, oh man, I don't think I can do this.
Well,
Right?
I dropped a 70-pound dumbbell on my thigh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not drop, but like the way I set it down, it hurt. So I felt like I bruised my thigh for a couple of days.
Trust me, I feel it. Like when you guys train enough and you're training to that point of like, man, real failure. Like sometimes there's fear there, and there's doubt because you're like, man, this weight, if I really think about it, if I were to drop it, could kill me, right? So the reason why we do back off sets for a lot of newer clients and people starting out, because we're trying to actually beat this fear, right? So if you do something heavy first, anything after, it's going to be a breeze. Why would you get scared? You're doing light, right? So it's just a mechanism. End of the day, when we add all of these numbers up, it's going to give us a volume, right? End of the day, if you beat that volume week to week, you're good to go. Doesn't matter, right? I'm not too sure, so you might have to screenshot it for me, Jonathan. I don't know what this part is that Taylor set for you. So she might have set a secondary note for you where she wants your first set to only be a rep or 2. I'm not too sure, but usually back off sets will look like this section here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a meeting with her tomorrow, so I can ask.
Yeah, just ask, man. But does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. And then I think someone wrote something. Rich wrote tempo is the indicator to 1. That would be 2 seconds of contraction. 1 second. Yeah, so that is correct, but I think you just had the ordering wrong, Rich. So the first number is actually your eccentric. So I'll give you a better example, right? Let's say your tempo is 3, 1, 2, 1, right? You tell me an exercise you're familiar with. What's an exercise you're familiar with?
Let's do the goblet squat.
Goblet squat. Okay, cool. Squat. What would this number be for?
I mean, the way I was reading it, that would be 3 seconds squatting.
What is squatting? What is that?
Well, where my thighs are parallel with the ground.
Yeah, but are you going up or are you going down or are you going left?
Going
going
down.
Right?
Yeah, going down.
Right? So that's the eccentric, right? So when you're going down, the lowering of the weight, right? Because when you're doing a squat, there's no concentric. You're not pushing anything. You're just holding the weight going down, right? So that's the eccentric, right? The lowering of the weight. So you think of eccentric, which is this first number, as the opposite of whatever concentric you're doing. So this is where it gets confusing for a lot of people because let's say squat eccentric is 3. That means this section is concentric, right?
Right.
All right. So if we are doing 3, 1, 2, 1, right? You know what a lat pull down is?
Yeah.
All right. What's this number?
Well,
Isn't it like you're pulling down? You're taking 3 seconds to pull down.
But what is that? Is that not contracting your back?
Oh, okay. So you're asking what you're actually doing. That's what you're squeezing your back.
Yeah, but what is that? That's concentric, no?
So for the lat pull down, 3 seconds should be like when you're going back up, right?
That's correct. Right? See how the terminology confuses people because it's the lowering of the weight, but it should be pronounced the eccentric, right? We use lowering of the weight because it's easier to explain, but it confuses people. So the first number is eccentric. Eccentric is the opposite of concentric. So think about concentric as when you're contracting the muscle that you're training. So lat pull down, Dale, you said you're squeezing, right? That's the concentric, right? So 2 seconds is actually the squeezing portion. So when you start this one, you start off at 2 seconds because that's the squeeze. 1, 2, right? Then you got the 1 second squeeze. Then it's 3 seconds eccentric.
To come back up.
1, 2, 3. All right. That's a trick question that I always throw out there. But once you understand that, you should be able to understand everything else. Does that make sense, Rich?
yeah. So first number is always eccentric, regardless of what the motion is. Got it. Okay.
That is correct.
That's helpful.
You give me another exercise you're familiar with.
What was the one I was doing yesterday? It's the we could do the flat bench press.
Okay, bench. All right. Your tempo is 4, 1, 3, 2. Explain that to me.
So let's see. That would be if I'm thinking right.
Mhm.
The eccentric, which would be pushing up, would be 4 seconds, right? And then the concentric would be 3 seconds.
Oh, back it up.
Uh-huh.
Why would pushing up be your eccentric?
Because aren't I stressing the pecs?
Is that not contracting?
Shoot.
Oh, so you're talking
No,
about
you're
so basically when the dumbbells come down, correct?
That's
Like
the negative
4
portion.
seconds.
When when the dumbbells are going down, you're not exuding pressure to contract it, right? So in Rich's case, the bench press, you're lying down, the bar is coming towards you. You actually aren't wasting energy pushing it, but you're controlling it. That's the eccentric. You're controlling the negative, right? Does that make sense, Rich?
Yep.
Okay. So explain the full thing.
Okay, so 4 seconds eccentric, controlling it
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
1 second hold.
Mm-hmm.
3 second concentric, pushing it back up. And then 2 seconds hold. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah. So just keep thinking that this number here is always going to be your eccentric, always going to be the negative space, the negative of your concentric. Okay, because usually the eccentric is going to give you a longer time of tempo, because we don't want you to contract for 5 seconds up. That's torture, right?
Yeah.
Usually, like, so if you're thinking about it and reading it wrong, sometimes you might flip the script and your concentric is the longer one, which would not help you, right? Cool. Any other questions to do with training or even food? No? Okay. Everybody okay with me going over the topic I planned for this week? Yeah?
Yeah. Right.
All right, cool. All right, let me just remember how to present this right. Okay, how do I just present this one only? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. The topic that I set up, it might be a two-parter, to be honest, because I went pretty in-depth into this. But how do we optimize our progress? Anybody got answers? Or throw out anything that you think.
I was gonna say we've been hinted at sleep, so I would probably gonna guess sleep on this.
All right, Ant, you got me on that one. Okay. So optimization of progress, right? It could be, just see if this works. Why is it not working? All right, could be training, right?
Mhm.
Could be dieting, but the one on topic that we're talking about is sleep. Okay, I think everybody can put their hands up that we all probably want to get more sleep than we probably get.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Okay, why can't I close this? Okay, cool. So, what dictates bad sleep? Anybody got any ideas?
Stress.
Stress? Yeah, big one, 100%.
Mhm.
Come on, guys, we all get bad sleep. When you wake up in
Waking
the
up in
morning,
the
you're like,
middle of the night.
shit, that was a, yeah,
The duration of
fragmented
sleep, I guess.
Duration of sleep, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Does anyone get bad sleep because they have to piss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yep, that'd be me. Yep.
Yes,
So
I did.
there is a, yeah, there is a lot. These are just a few of the stuff. So stress, using your phone at night, big one. Caffeine, right? Drinking caffeine close to bedtime. Poor sleeping conditions. Eating at night like a gigantic meal right before bed. Having an inconsistent daily routine. So some nights you sleep at 8, some nights you sleep at 9, some nights you sleep at 10, right? I don't know if anyone does this one, but drinking alcohol close to bed. Yeah, I don't know if anyone does do that, but yeah, that does affect it. Supplementation is another one. So you could have an imbalance. And then biggest one was probably like overthinking, like mental load stress, right? So I'll go quickly through this as well, just going over it. So the reason why stress is a bad one, or stress is one that will affect you a lot, is when we're sleeping, you think of it as like a reset, right? Like your brain is supposed to kind of switch off into a mode, like almost like a, how do I explain? It's just like a cruisy mode, right? Stopping you from, worrying about work, finance, relationship, or even the next day. So overthinking prior to bed, of course, that's going to affect our sleep, right? And I'll go through the positives and negatives as well, kind of through each slide. I just wanted to go through everything else here. Too much screen time. We all know that's bad. Does anybody know why?
Blue light.
Blue light. Yes,
Blue
we
light.
spoke about this. Yes. So what does blue light do? It delays the melatonin production that we produce when we go to sleep. Melatonin is basically our body's natural hormone to say, hey guys, it's nighttime. We're supposed to go to sleep, right? A lot of people in the olden days never had this problem because there was not that much technology, right? But now there's screens everywhere, there's lights everywhere, right? Caffeine, obviously it's an easy one. Like just think about trying to drink a coffee and then going to bed. Like unless you're Italian or Greek or something, and you drink that and it's in your blood, you're gonna have trouble sleeping, right? Poor sleep environment. I also think this is probably not spoken about enough. So who sleeps in a room that's completely black, right? Or do people have lights that are on, stuff that's playing, background noise, people in the house making noise? Like all of those are going to contribute to sleep quality as well. One big one that affects me is like I get super hot when I sleep, right? If you get super hot or you sweat, stuff like that, that is going to wake you up. I guarantee it will, right?
Especially
Eating
at
too
the
much,
parties, it's the worst.
especially at parties.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that one, but yeah, like I think sweating is not good for anything except cooling you down when you're playing sport or training. So yeah, but yeah, the temperature in your room matters a lot as well. Okay, let's say I think all of my clients, I give you guys timings on food. Super important because having that timing on food doesn't allow you to get to this stage here where you're trying to fit in 2 meals at once or you're eating late, right? Obviously think about like eating late, like what that's doing for your body. Like you're about to go to sleep and your body's like, oh, like it's time to digest this food, right? Rich, tell me.
So, question about that. Let's say it is, I'm not going to get home until like midnight tonight, and I've got calories to go, but by the time I get home, it's going to be pretty dang late. Should I just forego eating and go with maybe 1,600 calories consumed?
When was the meal before that midnight meal?
Probably about 5 right about now.
5. So you're going out without a meal for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just time. I'm basically in meetings between now and midnight.
Okay. Did you know that you're going to have these meetings?
Yep.
Could you have pre-planned maybe something in between?
I mean, no, this is a televised public meeting. I can't be there eating.
Yeah, no, not eating while you're doing the meeting, but in between that, right? You're not doing a meeting for 7 hours, are you?
No, I am.
For 7 straight hours?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then I would say that meal before the 7 hours, that's the area where you're supposed to have a gigantic meal.
Okay.
Right? Or, I don't know if this is possible, but are you able to drink anything?
I've got water.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Could you have drink in a shake?
I could. Well, I'd have to. Yes, I could have.
Right. So I think it's just a little bit of pre-planning as well, prefixing like, oh man, like I know that I'm gonna have a late one, right? I have to readjust things around to make it work, right? Another thing that I'll go through that I've written down as well is, where you're working. Do you commute home or are you working from home or?
I commute home.
Yeah. How long does it take you to get home?
Half hour.
Half hour. Why don't you eat while you're driving?
I could. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's extra 30 minutes, right? Let your body digest. Right. So I'll go through some more things that I think, but very good question. You did pick up one slide of mine later on. We spoke about this last week as well. Low electrolyte balances and supplementation. So something like low magnesium or like bad electrolyte imbalance. So I think Dale said this as well. You used to get a lot of cramps, right?
Yep.
That also stops you from sleeping, right? Wakes you up, you're sore. So fixing that into your load too, can help. So this is basically the metric in which I think that we can improve in sleep. I'm not perfect. This has kind of just helped me. Hopefully it can help you guys. I don't have no degree in sleep, but I believe it will help you guys. So the 5 things that I set up for sleep is that. So we all know that we need good sleep, and we know that bad sleep is bad for us, right? Then we got what? What do we need to do to get good sleep, and what do we need to do to avoid bad sleep, right? Then we have the how. How do we get good sleep? How do we avoid bad sleep, right? And then when to start getting ready for bed. So these are how I've broken down the steps of sleep. Does that all make sense to everyone? Sorry if I'm going too fast.
What?
Right, and I'll go through each step too. All right, so we start off at that, right? So breaking it down first, what happens to your body when you get good sleep or bad sleep, right? Good sleep. All right. So when you do get good sleep, right? Bad sleep, sorry. Good sleep increases your testosterone. We're all dudes here, right? We can all get more testosterone, right? So much, so beneficial for us, right? So increases your testosterone, boosts your muscle growth, allows you to be more driven, work better, and the effort that you do with work feels good too, right? So any reduction in cortisol, right, is a massive, massive plus, right? Basically, the only time you need cortisol is when you're waking up. Because if you don't have cortisol when you try to wake up, you're probably not going to get up. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Mhm.
Cool. So yeah, when we talk about, sorry, I'm just going to readjust this. When we talk about cortisol, it's the release of the response to stress, right? That's probably the last thing that you want prior to sleep, right? That leads to like overthinking and all that. So that's the good sleep part, right? So when we talk about bad sleep, just think about literally almost like the opposite of this, right? Your body will be able to catch on to more fats. You're more weak because you're more tired. You're more lazy because you haven't slept, right? With the increase of cortisol as well, basically you're going to gravitate to stuff that makes you feel better, right? What's the easiest way to feel better? Anyone want to answer?
Eating, bruh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Comfort
there we
food.
go. Right? Yeah. Everyone got it, man. Everyone got it in the one saying, right? So it's easy because it's the most direct dopamine hit. Right? Unless any of you guys doing drugs or whatever, but eating is probably the first one. All right. It's probably the easiest dopamine hit. You grab a piece of candy, you grab something you really want to have, and it's gonna shoot up those endorphins, right? So you want to delay that response, if not reduce that down as much as possible, because it's only going to make your day-to-day much more harder, right? So when you're lacking on sleep, basically all of those metrics become so much harder for you to hit your goals. So I don't necessarily say having bad sleep doesn't mean you can't progress towards your goal, but it sure makes it a lot more harder. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're at what, right? What is good sleep? Who does anyone want to give me points? What do they think is good sleep?
I would say the first thing is just getting enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to bed at a decent time instead of staying up super late. I know I struggle with that.
Oh
Being
yeah.
a gamer and
So
all.
that's actually, yeah, that's literally my first one. Getting enough sleep. Anything from 7 to 9 hours, right? Anyone else?
Maybe getting into deep REM.
Yeah, deep REM. That's good. Yep. That's probably in the same realm. Yep. Getting into sleep. Yep. Other one was, I think Seth said it as well, getting to actually bed on time, right? And then the last point I had was once in bed, staying asleep, right? I think Rich, you said that, and I said it was fragmented sleep, right? REM sleep, getting some good sleep, right? So those are usually what I find. If I tick all those boxes, I'll wake up going, yeah, that was pretty good sleep, right? So how I set to fix this would be, number one, you got to pick a bedtime. Like you actually have to pick a time, right? You can't just say, I'm going to go to bed early tonight. You progressively have to work towards it. Like the two ways that you can do this is, number one, does the time I set fit, right? Does it fit into what I'm doing, right? Second one is, does it fit into my lifestyle? Second one is, can I stick to this realistically, right? Can this be done at least 5 out of 7 times out of the week? And this literally be stuck to? That's where you need to start off with, right? So, if you're normally sleeping at 11 p.m., you don't want to just try to start getting to sleep at 8 p.m. because that wouldn't be realistic. Kind of have to find areas of improvement. I don't need you to stick to something where you know that you're setting yourself up for failure. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need it to be something where we can actually adapt it, make it consistent to our lifestyle, and hopefully allow our body to get used to some form of consistency. Right? We all know, as well, consistency. Once consistency kicks in as a habit, it's very easy to stay on things. It just becomes a habit, right? Yeah, and why does this matter? So when we set up a system like this, does anyone know what your circadian rhythm is? Does anyone know what that is?
A heart rhythm while asleep?
No, it's more so I think Rich, you nodded. Do you know what it is?
I'm familiar with the concept. I mean, it's kind of as your mental state kind of aligned with your overall body. That's how I think of it.
Yeah, so think about it as like your internal body clock, right? It tells you oh shit, I need to get up. Oh shit, I'm hungry. Oh shit, I need to sleep now. Oh shit, I have energy. It's like a clock that goes through all of your, I guess, your bodily functions and stuff. Usually when we're talking about circadian rhythm for sleep, it's just like when you go to bed, you wake up the same time every morning. That's what it is. You set yourself
So
up.
is that kind of why you would wake up? For example, you start picking you put in the habit of going to bed at a certain time, or you wake up at a certain time, and then you wake up right before your alarm goes off, and it's like, dang.
Yes.
I know some people are like, oh, that sucks, but I'm guessing that's what you're talking about because your body just automatically knows, even if you don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the states get rid of. Yeah, 100%. I think everybody goes through daylight saving, not just the state. Everyone, man, right? But yeah, so why that matters is if you're in control of your circadian rhythm, you're able to also control your hunger levels, your stress, your recovery. Your workouts are better. You're stronger in the gym. Fat loss becomes easy because your hormones are balanced, right? And that's when you have a consistent flow, right? So our goal in the end of the day is to get any more sleep than we normally do. So if out of this whole thing you get 30 minutes more, then I've succeeded, right? But ideally, the range that we want to try to aim for is 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep. Okay. So step 2, get ready for bed, right? So let's say bed is 10 p.m. We all know information and processes, but that will not matter unless we actually get sleep. So we all know that sleep is good. We know we're supposed to get it. We know we're supposed to get a lot of it. That's all fine. That's all good up in the air. Unless we actually execute it and get the good sleep, it doesn't matter, right? So let's say, for example, we set our bedtime for 10 p.m. How do we make sure that we're actually in bed by 10 p.m., getting ready to sleep every night? Anyone?
Stop using devices at 9.
Yeah, this could be one. Yep.
I know one thing I do is I would set an alarm on my phone to remind me every day, hey, 10 o'clock, get in bed, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I lose track of time, so.
100%. So how I see it is we need to stop seeing sleep as just something we do at night. We need to see sleep. We need to view it as a process as well. Same as us processing out food timings, right? we need to view something like sleep as something that we should have and be wary of in terms of time. So the perspective shift is what I'm talking about. Oh, it's already 15 minutes. Oh shit. Yeah, this call has to go for 2 group calls, by the way, but hopefully it'll be good. So we need to shift our perspective of sleep, right? So our day, everybody's day is made up of tasks, right? So it could be getting the kids ready. Then that's the wrong order. Then we go to eat, right? And we spend time with family. Then we drive to work. Then we work, and then we sleep, right? Sleep's always at the end, right? But you should treat it, right, as its own proper task. You need to actually have time set out for it, right? So, where am I? So basically what I'm talking about is, let's say we're setting our bedtime for, let's say we're setting our bedtime for 10 p.m., right? What time do we actually realistically know to actually start getting ready for bed? Right? Does anybody know?
Probably 9:30ish, in between that.
Yeah. Is that a guess though? Like you left it for 30 different minutes, right? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is like we should plan it as if it's like actual work. So for example, let's say you have work at 10 o'clock, right? You rock up at 10:05, 10:30?
No.
No, right? So we should be treating sleep almost exactly the same, right? So what I mean is when we're getting ready for bed, we need to figure out our nighttime routine. Every one of you guys have one. You just don't ever thought about it, right? All of you guys do the exact same thing probably every night before you go to bed. Like, you know, whether it is that, you know, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you have a shower, like it's pretty systematic. You just haven't realized that. Am I wrong or right to say that?
You're right.
Right? Right? Yeah. So who here knows exactly how long it takes them to do that routine?
For me, usually about 15 minutes.
Usually, right? You don't really know,
Yeah.
right? It's not, right?
Oh, I mean, that depends
So
on my shit.
Yeah. So you can factor it. So what I'm talking about here, right? Before we wrap up and stuff, what I'm talking about here is a routine, right? So I want everybody to go and try this, right? So what I want you to do is the next time you're getting ready for bed, take out your phone and go on the stopwatch, right? The clock and then stopwatch, right? That will allow you to press start and that will allow you to press lap, right? Whatever routine that you go through, let's say the first thing you do is wash your face. After you wash your face, press lap. It'll tell you that timing. All right, then you're brushing your teeth. After you finish brushing your teeth, press lap. Right? Do all of that until you're actually in bed with the covers over you. Then press stop. Screenshot that and see how long your actual nighttime routine takes. Does that make sense? Right? So let's say you end up with 40 minutes to do everything, right? And your sleep is at 10 o'clock. You know 100% you got to get in bed by 9:20. Right? See how we've broken that down to be like, oh shit, if we want to get to bed by 10, this is literally the last time that we have. Right? But if we pre-framed it the way I think we all are, where we're like, you know, 10 o'clock is our sleep, we'd probably try to get to bed around 9, but we end up going to bed around 9:30. So are we actually sleeping around 10? No, we're sleeping around 10:10.
I wish.
Right? Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Like 10 minutes here and there might seem like a lot, but my next part of it, you'll realize that it catches on pretty quick, right? So let me see where we're at. So what does this teach us? It teaches us the areas in which we're wasting time that does not contribute to our actual sleep, right? So that means all of the distractions, right? All of these are distractions, right? You could probably do all of your bedtime routine without having these, but you probably still do use them, right? So who's brushing their teeth and watching a video? I do that. You know, who jumps on the toilet, watches a video and forgets they're on the toilet?
Yeah.
I'll be on that toilet for 4 hours if it let me. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah. So what I'm
Got no
talking about
legs after
is
that.
yeah. You got the red marks on the thighs. That's what you got. Yeah.
Oh yeah, your legs are asleep. You're crawling off the toilet.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is it gives us and it teaches us a lesson, right? It teaches us when we do that little exercise that I just said, it teaches us, okay, cool. Let's just say brushing our teeth takes 2 minutes, right? That's the length that it takes to brush the teeth. It shouldn't take 5 minutes because you're watching a YouTube video, right? If you think about that, let's say the full routine that you do, let's say you brush your teeth, it's 2 minutes, but you end up taking 5 minutes because of whatever reason. You're watching a TikTok, someone messaged you, whatever. You know that the task of brushing your teeth is 2 minutes. It is now 5 minutes. To you, might only be 3 minutes extra, right? If we look at that over a proper margin, it's 2.5 more time than you're wasting, right? So let's just use that as a metric, right? Let's say your bedtime routine was 40 minutes because that's what we said it was, right? Imagine now that you times it by 2.5 because of all those little things you're doing in between, right? All those little random tasks, right? So instead of a 40-minute bedtime routine, your bedtime routine now is 100 minutes because of all those little things that you're doing. That's a really full-blown example, but I'm trying to get you to understand, like, you can save a lot of time at night from a routine. All right, so we can wrap up here, but the activity I wanted everybody to try is literally use your stopwatch, use the lap button, and actually go through a routine. Maybe do it for like 1 or 2 nights just to see how close the timings are. But I guarantee you, if you are doing it properly, most of your routine will almost be exactly the same every time. Right. So once we do that, I guess the next group call I can go through the next part of my stuff, which is like I think it is how to fall asleep quicker too. Okay. Was that at all valuable to anyone? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Look,
Yeah, for
sleep's
sure.
a really big one. I'm hoping to put more as best information and understandable that we can, but I want everybody to try it because I think it's a pretty big wake up call when you realize, like, you do 2 ways. Do one where you just press start and you kind of don't really care how long it takes, you're doing whatever, and then do one where you're meticulously looking at every task and pressing lap and see the difference in time that you save. Because I guarantee you, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you wish you had 5-10 more minutes of sleep. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So end of the day here, I'm not looking for everybody to hit 7-9 hours perfect. Like, I don't even hit that. But if I even allow you to improve by 30 minutes or 15 minutes, it's going to compound. Right?
Yeah.
So I want everybody to try it out. And then, until you get to bed, and then what you can do is just screenshot it and post it in the group chat call, and we can see all the areas in which people's bedtime routine, how long it takes. Sound good?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give it a shot. Augustus, man, I'll send you what I kind of wrote up for your shift as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. The boss offered like $93 an hour to work these shifts, so I was like, I can't turn that down.
Yeah, I don't know how effective it will be, but it's mostly what I think you're asking me is how do you navigate the morning to the night, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, do I just flip straight 12 hours, or like, do I what? Like, so.
Yeah, cool. I'll send it to you because I think this chat is gonna end soon.
For sure, man.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. Please join for part 2 next week. Hopefully we'll get through some more stuff.
For sure.
Hey, Coach Steven, I have a question.
Yeah.
So on my individual calls with Coach Taylor, she set it up in a way where it's on my Google Calendar or whatever, and it pops up. So I just click on the link via my calendar. Is there a way to have that set up for our group calls weekly, so that way I don't always what time is it? Because I feel like
I might be able to. I think I would have to. I think I would just have to invite you as a guest. What's your email, Dale?
It's daley2@gmail.com.
DALE. DALE, yep.
DALELEETU. at gmail. Yep. That way I can just have it on my calendar. It's always at whatever time it needs to be. I don't have to ask, what time's the meeting?
Yeah.
Because Alex sends out an email, I think, or maybe it's a computer-generated email every week, telling the link of sending out the link of the meeting or for this call. However, it keeps going to my spam, so I kind of responded back to see if he could change my email to that Gmail account, but I didn't get a response back. So
I think that one is probably generated and it doesn't even exist anymore because this call is my link. So I just added you in. Can you just double check you got it?
I DM'd you my email too, Coach Steve. Because I'm with Dale on that.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want, just send all your emails in the group call chat if you want, and I'll add everyone into it. No worries.
I'm not. Where am I supposed to be looking at for this?
You would have received a invitation to the email that I sent. So I put Dale as DALE and then LEETU at gmail.com.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I got it.
Okay.
Y'all might want to send it in Discord because the call ends. I don't know if he'll still access to the chat.
Yeah. Just send it to me on Discord, guys. No worries.
Because I think this is temporary, right? It's just like a trial kind of thing. So once it ends, it won't let you back in.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just send me all your stuff on Discord, guys. Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you. See y'all next week.
Later, guys.
All right.
Later.